to get my back blown out in peace. You think I got time to talk about a divorce that's a year old?
Even though it was frigid in the courtroom that morning, nobody anticipated the emotional chill that would hit when Teyana Taylor broke down in front of everyone at last. What started off as a typical custody hearing swiftly descended into tragedy. It was an intensely personal and impactful moment that would be remembered much beyond the confines of the courtroom. Teyana, dressed in a long black cloak, had entered in silence. Despite her placid demeanor, she appeared worn out, as if she hadn't slept for days. "I've arrived in Shumpert a few moments later." He remained silent. It was difficult to read his face. The fact that the two had not been communicating for some time was obvious. And now, their private suffering was being exposed in public. As attorneys on both sides arranged their paperwork, whispers reverberated across the room. After the judge issued an order, everyone took their seats. However, no one was really ready for their daughter to be invited to speak. It's common knowledge that kids pick up on everything, including what we think is hidden. As the young girl, who was no older than 8, made her way slowly to the witness stand, that fact became painfully evident. In one hand, she held a tiny teddy bear. Despite being quiet, her voice echoed like thunder through the courtroom. She paused, her eyes wide, before revealing a reality that shook the room when the judge softly asked her how she felt. "When I'm with my father, I miss my mother. I dislike it when they quarrel." No script was present. She had no adult guidance on what to say. These lines weren't practiced. She spoke from the bottom of her heart. Teyana tried not to cry as she gazed at her daughter with teary eyes. Ayman stayed motionless, his eyes fixed on the ground. The lawyers, clerks, guards, and the courtroom itself all appeared to be still. The young girl wasn't finished, though. "Mommy weeps a lot. Although she claimed not to notice it, I do. And occasionally, Daddy loses his temper. It bothers me." Her response dealt the ultimate blow when the judge gently inquired as to whether she had ever experienced fear. She said, "Just when they yell. I want them to chuckle once again." That was it. Everything changed at that point. Teyana made an unsuccessful attempt to maintain her composure. She leaned forward and covered her face with her hands. She was trembling. A little sob slipped from her mouth. The change in the air was palpable. The Baouf appeared uneasy as well. Ayman had not yet relocated. Then the collapse occurred. Teyana rose up when her daughter returned to the bench, either to give her a hug or simply to catch her breath, but her legs failed her beneath her. She let out a piercing scream of anguish that was a combination of a gasp and a sob before collapsing to the ground. Anarchy ensued. Attorneys rushed to her. The courtroom was filled with gasps. The moment had already broken into something wild when the judge smashed his gavel and cried for order. To aid Teyana in sitting up, a courtroom assistant hurried over. She breathed shallowly and shakily. She clutched her chest while sobbing. "Yes, we were contacted right away." Her attorney knelt next to her and spoke in a low voice. Nobody else said anything. There was a startled stillness among them. Those who were close enough to Teyana claimed that she kept mumbling the same statement, even if her words were unclear. She is only a child. This shouldn't have to be shown to her. This shouldn't need to be fixed by her. Repeatedly and repeatedly. News broke out like wildfire outside the courthouse. Standing outside, a reporter assembled the events and promptly posted a video summary. Within minutes, the video became viral. Following her daughter's tearful testimony, Teyana Taylor breaks down. According to the caption, social media exploded. The fans were devastated. This is more than just a celebrity event. An individual wrote, "This is real-life pain." Many were shocked that the young girl was required to testify at all. Others pointed the finger at him, claiming he ought to have done more to shield their daughter from the chaos. In actuality, though, it was too late to assign responsibility. Already the harm was done. The entire globe had seen it. Iman eventually spoke up later that night. "No child should ever have to speak in court," he wrote in a brief but heartfelt Instagram story. "That moment was not protected by me." Some supporters weren't happy. Others valued the candor and viewed it as a positive start to the healing process. Teyana didn't answer. According to people close to her, she has been battling for months to manage her job, parenthood, emotional strain, and the burden of being in the spotlight. According to the court proceedings, however, that was her breaking point. According to a blog, a close friend said, "She's not okay." The last straw was witnessing her daughter bear the emotional burden of two adults. The Pajar Protectio trend is popular on all platforms by the following morning. Stars such as Gabrielle Union, Henson, Zanaya, and Taraji P shared supportive and loving words on social media. "See you. You are loved by us. Go slowly, sis," Gabrielle wrote. But one message was particularly difficult for everyone to read. In an old interview, Teyana stated, "Even if her father and I weren't together, all I've ever wanted was to raise my daughter in love," which a fan published. That's the goal. It's the objective. It was devastating to read those lines after everything. Later, court representatives said the hearing will be rescheduled. Experts in mental health were being consulted. Following the terrible incident, there were even rumors that Teyana may ask for complete custody. However, the underlying problem went beyond the legal aspect and was emotional in nature. There was more to that courtroom collapse than just a physical breakdown. It represented all of the suffering, weariness, and stress Teyana had been bearing by herself. Everyone who witnessed it was plagued by the picture of her tumbling to the ground while her kid watched from a few steps away. Rumors circulated in the background that men wanted to get in touch. He sent flowers, according to several people. According to some, he attempted to appear in person but was denied entry. Disagreements were no longer the exclusive source of their conflict. It had changed and became heavier. Sorrow. Fans hoped for tranquility despite the mayhem. Emotional calm for both parents, and particularly for their daughter, is preferable to reconciliation. You understand her feelings if you were ever a child, caught in the middle of a fight between two parents. A tweet that went viral claimed to have been shared over 100,000 times. Then an unexpected event took place. Days later, a shaky video that was obviously recorded in private emerged. It featured Teyana reading to her daughter while seated on a couch. Although her face appeared worn out, she was grinning. She spoke quietly. She muttered, "We're going to be all right, baby." Critics were quieted by the video. The love between a mother and her kid is undeniable. No press release or statement could ever adequately convey what the clip said. Something changed on the internet as the dust started to settle. The topic of discussion shifted from the drama to the kids. Individuals began discussing the psychological effects of toxic co-parenting, childhood trauma, and custody disputes. It was discussed on podcasts. Twitter threads included quotes from therapists. It was no longer merely rumors. It had evolved into a discussion on recovery. According to insiders, Teyana was removing herself from everything. Every performance that was scheduled was canceled. No social media posts or press appearances. Although she was no longer in the spotlight, her name was still trending. At the moment, she is giving her daughter everything. According to one friend, nothing else matters. It also made sense. The people did not like the tapes, the headlines, or the treachery after all. She was defending more than simply her own heart. It belonged to her child, wasn't himself after all. No gaudy attire, no club appearances, and no selfies taken on the court. Papazi eventually found him sitting by himself in a park, staring into space with his hood pulled over his head. That picture went viral because it was so relatable, not because it was dramatic. A man who had before exuded unwavering confidence suddenly appeared to be aware of the consequences of his decisions. Supporters were split. Both parents were accused by some. Others claimed that heartbreak causes sloppy behavior. They were merely two people attempting to endure their suffering. However, one voice broke through the cacophony. Their daughter in a courtroom video that was leaked. People were really shaken by what she had spoken since it was so plain and clean. "All I want is for them to stop causing each other pain." Thousands of people retweeted that line. "She's the only one in the room who made sense," someone commented. They were correct. Amidst all the confusion, that one sentence stood out. It revealed the reality. It was no longer about sides. It concerned a middle-aged child pleading for peace. This wasn't simply another celebrity custody dispute in the end. It served as a mirror image of how quickly pain can cause one to lose focus on what really important. Despite her collapse that day, Teyana stood strong for all mothers who endure silent suffering. And her daughter was taller, braver, more honest, and stronger than her years. Because holding things together isn't always the true strength. It lies in saying the truth, no matter how softly you say it. And the loudest and most genuine voice in that courtroom was the smallest. Ask the conversation gap.